In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station, WLMR DB Radio.
Thank you all for staying tuned each and every week to Speak Out Your Issues with me. Show you right, Nadine.
And Sabrina.
Of course, everyone. This will be a fabulous show because we have the owner of WLMR DB Radio with us, and that's Mr. Levi Miller, and all of his great friends for over 60 years. These are friends who have been with him since childhood, and they all have stuck together. I just want to really do a shout out to all of those who was a part of the Simpson Trogen baseball team, which was back in the day, back in the late 60s and so. So just to give them a shout out right now because I did get a chance to interview them before. Wealth of information, heartfelt information that will be coming forth here tonight. Again, yes, the Simpson Trojans youth, the black baseball youth who started it themselves, found time to you know what? We're going to put positive energy in our neighborhood, positive energy for ourselves. And like I mentioned, again, you're here on Speak Out Your Issues with me, Show You Right, Nadine and Sabrina. Again, our show owner is Mr. Levi. A pleasure. We've been saying for the longest we want to get you on our show. But again, I will introduce our world to some of the famous baseball players as youth, black baseball players as youth. And who's here with us this evening? Charles Gullett, Ellison Lawton, Willie James Waters, again, Mr. Levi Miller, who they call Mr. Magoo, Raymond Kemper, and Miss Robin Lynn, who's the owner of the radio show called Vibes Live. And she's located in Seattle, Washington. We also have a guest with us, Big Pun. That's his AKA name, Big Pun, but his name is Gregory Shelton. And also DJ Sean, who has a radio show in Hilltop, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina. Again, thank you all for being here with us. I am so elated, just happy to have all of you all with us. And tonight we're really featuring our black baseball team who really, the first time I had an interview with them, they really touched my heart in reference to young men between 10 to 12 to 15 to 16 years of age, who took on saying that they're going to...
I was in the 6th grade.
You was in the 6th grade? Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I was young, yeah. One of the younger, yeah.
Okay. And your name again?
I need to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, go ahead and just introduce your... Huh? I'm sorry, what's your name?
Okay. Me? This is Raymond.
Raymond, okay.
Raymond Kimber.
Okay, so Raymond, you was the one who said that you was in the 6th grade or 5th grade?
I was in the 6th when I first started playing.
Okay,
I
great.
played on both the teams. I played with Little League Trogen and I played with the big team too.
Okay, all right. And just
They had what you call Pony League. They had Little League.
Okay, great. Give you a few minutes to go ahead and finish telling us a little bit more about yourself. Again, our guest, the Trojans, Simpson Trojans from Simpson Road in Atlanta, Georgia, the famous Atlanta, Georgia, where I grew up in, Miss Sabrina, because she's our other hosts on to speak out your issues. And the topic tonight: who is the Trojans baseball team, and who is League of Friends? You all, I know, have recently uh, got a 501c3. So, uh, is that Mr. Raymond who was speaking? I'd just like to ask you what. Okay, start with you. Start with you, and then we'll go with Mr. Levi. What made you all want to become a team?
Okay.
What made you all want to become a team? Just your personal view.
Okay. Me? You talking to me, Raymond?
Yes.
You talking to me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I can't tell. Okay. What made me, I was introduced to the Trogen by Greg and Junior Slack down in elementary school. And I always wanted to be a professional baseball player. So I started out in my neighborhood. They went out, the team broke up and I started playing for the Trojan out in the 6th grade. And I had to run, man. Anyway, I had to run the practice there and back every day from the white people calling me the N-word every day, throwing at me. Not only I had to run from them, I had to run from the hobos and the wild dogs too. So in the evening, sometimes when practice over, I would get scared because I knew I had to go by myself to the white neighborhood, and I got to run from the dog. I got to run from the hobos at night. But I really wanted to play with the soldiers because they were well put together, organized team. And I wanted to play a well organized team. And Larry Monroe had them put together when I got there. But I blended in just like I came from a place called Glentown. And I had to go about 8 miles to practice every day, and I came there every day.
And in the 6th grade, you had to go 8 miles. That was definitely self-determination. I really appreciate you mentioning that. And you said Glentown. Exactly what area of Atlanta is that in?
Okay, it's Bland, B-L-A-N-D.
Okay.
W-N.
Where is that? Where is that located?
It's a historic. Over by Georgia, it's Almond Road and Mayberry Street.
Okay.
That's Blandtown. Now they got the booming over there. They got 300. Okay, yeah. That's why I come over by a lot of water.
That was a long way to go. And like I mentioned, self-determination. I really appreciate, you having the will to do that, especially only being in the 6th grade. Appreciate telling your story. We're going to go to Mr. Levi, who is the owner of the WLMR-DB radio station, one of the very important inspirers of the team during that time. And Mr. Levi Miller, Mr. Magoo, aka Mr. Magoo. If you'd like to tell your story, a little bit about your story.
Yeah. Well, when I was a kid, I was living in over in 4th Ward, and going to Rockville Elementary, DBC Howard, where Walt Clyde Fraser, played with New York Knicks. He was like my next door neighbor. But we came over there and tell you a short story. I played for a little league team. I was in like 4th or 5th grade, elementary school, and I was the worst baseball player you ever want to see in the world. I remember my first game, playing center field, ball went on the head. And I dropped one, struck out about 2 times, and never even foul ball. So I gave up baseball for a while, but baseball always been my dream. I used to even take pictures of the newspaper and, professional athletes put in there. And I did like 1 year with the Atlanta Crackers, which was a minor league team of I think the Dodgers back in the days. And they taught me a lot of stuff. Then later on, we moved over to the west side, where we moved to an apartment called Valley Central Road on Central Road.
Yes.
And I met one of my 2 closest friends there. I'm talking about Willie Water and Melvin Slack. And we all got together. And we had about a little league team that had just been organized. So us 3, we decided, okay, let's go try it out. We tried it out. We met Coach Larry Morrow. And that's one of the best moves I made in my life. I know the rest of the members too. And he turned us into a dynamic of Little League baseball team and everything. He taught us everything. I don't care how bad you played, but he taught you everything. Fundamentals of basics, how to be a man. And he was just only a kid himself. He was only like 2 years older than we were. But, you know, he took us in and taught all this discipline to us. And that's why we also get a lot of praise to Coach Malt.
Right. And I was wondering, where was he at tonight? I really appreciate you mentioning that. And for our listeners, you can see a little bit of the stamina and determination what the baseball players had of doing something good for themselves as well as just in the community. And we'll come back to you, Mr. Levi. We appreciate you letting us know about that. What about Charles Gullett? I hope I'm pronouncing your last name correct. Gullett. Okay. Yes. What made you want to become a team member?
I experienced playing little ball, and from that experience, where we lived was the ghetto. It was our Buckhead, but it was the ghetto. But we knew we wanted to play ball. A group of adolescent kids that needed some drive. I won't say anything other than that, but drive. And Larry Morrow instilled that in us. We didn't have a park to play in, so we cleared off a field to begin this team. And as Levi said, several other members came in, wanted to play, and all of a sudden we began to gel, and we became exactly what we wanted to be, a fundamentally sound Little League team, a team that fears no other team because we never believed anybody else could beat us. But that is the ground work of where it started from. And I'm sure later on in the program we get a chance to chat more. But that was my fundamental reason for playing, is that I found something that was good, and it was just as easy for us to go left as it was to go right.
Yes, sir. Yes, I
And
appreciate
thank God it worked out as we all.
Yes. And if I can remind everyone to please put yourself on mute because there's a lot of background noise. If everybody can put themselves on mute, if you don't mind. So, okay. Well, I was going to ask you, Mr. Charles, you mentioned about living in the ghetto. Where was you referring living in the ghetto? I said ghetto and then ghetto. Ghetto is the right way. So where were you referring to when you say that?
It's fine.
I'm sorry.
I get back to it. It doesn't matter where you come from, but all of it. It doesn't matter where you came from. It's not where you're going. But these were low-income people. It wasn't low-income living. It was just low-income areas that we lived in.
So is that over by Simpson?
It was one of those situations where a neighborhood. Yeah, but I lived on Troy Street.
Okay, that's why I was
right off of Simpson.
Right. It's Troy over like in Dixie Hill. See, I'm from Atlanta. Letting the whole world know, yes, I was born and raised from Summer Hill. Yes, born and raised over in Summer Hill near the zoo. So I know all of the areas pretty much.
I think we've had this conversation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think we've had this conversation.
It's no problem.
Troy was not that far out. No, I went to high school in Dixie Hill, which was Turner.
Yes.
But Troy Street sat between Ashby Street and Burbank.
Right. Okay. I know exactly. I could see it up on the sign because used to ride the, what's that, 551, whatever bus that was, the model bus. But we'll definitely come back with you later on in the program in the radio show, and I really appreciate you all letting people know the stamina that you had was out of this world of determination. Uh, Ellison Lawton, uh, what made you want to be a part of the team?
Well, my motivation came from a young age. I guess I was about 5 years old. I lived in a ghetto area, northwest Atlanta, out near Perry Homes before Perry Homes was ever built. And this area was called Rockdale. There's a school still existing, Rockdale Elementary School, and there's a clinic still in the area. But there was a ball field not too far from the neighborhood where the old Negro League played. And I was inspired by one of my cousins who played in the old Negro League. And there was what we would call a star out of the neighborhood who went on to play Major League Baseball. His name was Mac Jones. He played, I think somebody mentioned the name Atlanta Crackers. He played for them before he was called up to the majors. And while I was out there, I used to chase baseballs on Sunday. Foul balls.
Yes.
Big fellows would foul the ball off into the woods behind the stands. Once I got out of church and changed clothes, I couldn't wait to go chase baseballs because I got a nickel for every ball I received. Now, there was about a 6-year interval in between there and when I met the brothers at the Trojans. And during that interval, all I could do was think about baseball because there were no avenues available to bring black kids into organized sports. So what happened after I moved out of that area, moved up on First Street where I met Charles Gillette, he introduced me to Larry Morrow and Levi and some of the other fellas when the team was about to get organized and started. He asked me if I wanted to play some baseball, and I jumped at the chance because this was the only opportunity I had ever been offered to play baseball. I didn't understand the fundamentals of the game. I didn't understand much about it, but I knew I wanted to play. And as time went on, we developed as a team. And to this day, I appreciate all of the organized effort that went into getting the Simpson Road Trojans to that place that we were successful, and for the things that we achieved at such a young age.
Yes.
That's pretty much it for me right now.
Well, I appreciate you definitely, Mr. Lawton, mentioning that. And as you were speaking, I was just thinking, all of you all are coming from different areas and being that young. How did you all come together? I'd like to ask that Willie James Waters answer that question, along with just giving us a little history of your reasoning for wanting to be a part of the Simpson Trojans.
Well, I don't know if I had a reason or a motivation other than camaraderie. You know, when you live in a neighborhood like the Valley Simpson, 1111 Simpson Road, I think it's 1155 Simpson Road. We talked to, it's been mentioned about logistics. Where is Simpson Road? Simpson Road runs all the way from Marietta Street downtown all the way to Hightower Road in northwest Atlanta.
Yes.
That's a long, long way. From downtown Atlanta all the way to Hightower Road. Our little section, we live between Westlake and Ashby. And between Ashby, there's Troy Street. There's the Mason Turner Road ended right there at Simpson Road. You had Westlake, and there's another street that I can't think of going south toward Washington High. As I said, I went to Washington High, but when I was 12, my mother died, and my 3 siblings, my sister and 2 other brothers, all younger than myself, went to live with my grandmother who lived in the valley, 1155 Simpson Road. And being new to the neighborhood, you are a single person out there trying to find your way, and you meet 2 people that look about your size, about your age, and they seem a medium. And I like today, you can't go outside because you don't know what you're going to run into. Somebody want to beat you up or take whatever you got. You know, I was listening to Raymond tell how he walked those 8 miles.
Yes.
In those days, most of the time you could walk. And you didn't have to worry about nobody harassing you or bothering you. You know, you were black, you had to get out of jail free card.
Yes.
And many people, right now I'm in Canada. I spend a lot of time in Canada. And I lost my thought. And, you know, I hear on the news about, you know, kids being shot, people attacking the schools. The world has gone to H in a handbasket. And, but we have a safe haven. But not to digress, but when I met Levi and I met Melvin, who lives in this 16 building complex with 8 apartments in each building, you know, we immediately bonded. And then we heard about, they said, come on, let's go over here. We're going to baseball practice. My experience had been earlier, I had lived on Hunter Street.
Right.
Right across from the AU practice field, Atlanta University, right there on Hunter Street between Chestnut and Morris Brown campus.
Right.
So my experience was going over, jumping that fence and going over there with my neighbors, playing baseball on that field when the college kids weren't there. You know, that's when they used to have the track meet in the springtime.
Right.
Right there on that field, the Atlanta University field. And so my experience has always been, I've been around sports and so forth.
Yes, and I
But
appreciate
meeting
that.
Melvin and meeting Levi, and they were from different backgrounds. Like Levi said, he's from Highland Park. I think it's Highland Park over there, David T. Howard. I went to Washington High, and in those days it wasn't that it wasn't as what did I want to say, structured like it is in the school system nowadays. You have to live in a certain place to go to a certain school.
Right.
And Levi would get on the bus every day, going all the way to the east end to Howard High. I would walk to Washington High. The Bossier Council went to Archer High, and Larry and Elmo, they went to Turner High, and we was a team that we played against each other in high school, our high school team. I'm sure Charles remember that day I hit that home run off this.
Well, I'm gonna, if you don't mind, yes, if you don't mind, Mr. All right. Well,
watching the high field and from the big field, I hit that ball all the way to 100th Street.
Right.
From the baseball down all the way to 100th Street. That's a long. And only Charles. You know, I've been standing on second base looking at his pitches forever. I don't know whether he's only
Yes.
a cream puff one there, but after that, the coach put me in cleanup, and I struck out every time after that.
Okay. Well, Mr. Waters. Yes, Mr. Waters.
Yes.
We're going to go to a station break right now and really appreciate you mentioning all of that. And your nickname is Tui, right? Hello? I was just trying to remember, because I remember you now live in Canada and so forth, but definitely been great stories so far. Let's take a station break. We'll be back, and we're definitely going to chime in to our guest that we have and see if our other host, Sabrina, has any questions. But really appreciate it. I got some good questions for you all. We'll be right back. You're on Speak Out Your Issues.
Do you want top-notch entertainment or Broadway plays for your event or establishment? Then see you need to hook up with Newham Carter Broadway Plays Promoters, LLC. Give them a call today at 470-776-0863. Your clients will be running back to your establishment when they see your next event is produced by Newham Carter Broadway Plays Promoters, LLC.
Again, everyone, thank you for staying tuned each and every week to Speak Out Your Issues with Miss Show You Right, Nadine and Sabrina. And you know what? They are taking me back in time. You know, you all, as you all were speaking, I was thinking, well, while I was coming up, how you always talk about your different neighborhoods, but guess what? They were so clean, and everybody stuck together. They were predominantly black neighborhoods where pride reigns, as well as just respect. And I know sometimes get territorial. Again, like I mentioned, I was born and raised over in Some Hill, listening to you all of the different areas that you're from. One thing about it, we stuck together. And that leads me into some of the questions we'll be bringing up. But before that, I would like to introduce and let a few of our guests who are here with us let us know a little bit about them. It's all about the Simpson Road Trojans, okay? So we definitely know that, but we are gracious that they're here. And I'm not for certain if they have information that they would like to share with us. But first guest, Robin Lynn, who's the owner of Vibes Live Radio out in Seattle, Washington. Thank you for tuning in with us this evening on Speak Out Your Issues. Robin Lynn, you know, we've had you on our show before, like I was mentioning earlier, that, you know, it's been a long time since we've talked. So, you like to introduce yourself and just let the world know about what you do in your show and how you know the Simpson Trojans. Robin Lynn, are you still with us? Well, what we can do is to go on and go to Big Pond, Mr. Gregory Shelton. Are you still with us? Are you all able to come off mute? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, Big Pond. You're a guest on our show, and thank you for being here. Maybe we'll get Robin Lynn a little later. She may be on her own show out there in Seattle. Remember, it's a 3-hour difference as well. So, let us know a little bit about your show or what you do. And like they mentioned, your AKA name is Big Pond, but of course, name is Gregory Shelton.
I came about Levi. We used to umpire together back in Atlanta. I was umpiring with a different association at one time, and I ran into Levi up in Fort Science County, but we at one time wasn't even allowed to be there. And he told me, come on over with us. Come on over with us, you know. And the rest is history, you know. And we went on the road a lot, and I got the moniker Big Pond in Cooperstown.
Okay.
He was umpiring a tournament up in Cooperstown, and we would close the bars down at night. And Levi and a couple of the guys started calling me Big Pond for some reason. It just kind of stuck. But sitting around the hotel room while we was on the road or just hanging out on the ball field after the game, you know, he always talked about the Trojans and how they were left out of the movie World Series, but yet they were undefeated or they were just that good. And I know how the camaraderie it bonds you. Because, you know, me and Levi from day one, we're still friends today. You know, it's been 20 years now, Levi. Yeah, 20 years. It happens like that. So, yeah.
Wow.
So I understand how those guys bond together, especially on a baseball field when you have a common goal.
Right.
They become your brothers.
Do understand, and I do feel
they are
that.
your brothers. We think you can, you know.
Yes, and I love seeing
So I
and
feel
hearing
like I'm
that.
part of this from Levi and Pop and Roland. Yeah, Pop was my road dog. Levi could tell you guys that. And we go to Omaha, was it, Levi? Me and Pop would close the bars down. Yeah, we go to Nebraska. We have a good time. And me and Pop would be roommates, and we run around every after ball game, have a blast.
Yes.
And he would tell the stories about the Trojan and how good you guys were. And let me say this, man. Yeah, I've been hearing about these Trojans.
I'm sorry, what were you saying, Mr. Levi?
Pop was of the legendary Pop. We mentioned Pop. Pop was our pitcher in the league.
Okay.
And also first baseman, also in the league. Also.
Oh,
he was a big pitcher. Charles Gillette never got in trouble. We never bring him on. We never bring him up to the mound. Well, how come y'all didn't? Well, Pop went on the team when they ball was hit on the road. And he was playing with that was a high school team.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Sean was in the middle on Pop. Yeah, well, Pop was out in Turner Station, and they were knocking him over the fence out there.
Wow. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Charles Gillette was the pitcher I always see about we call him no. Okay. He pitched one every year. He was playing for 5 innings back then, but Charles was striking out 9 people. So that was about 6 more people, to hit the ball. Charles was striking everyone out.
Wow. Interesting. And it's
finally get to meet an unofficial. Heard many stories.
but it's great that you all are on the show. I'm sorry, you can go ahead.
Pop was our left-handed reliever.
This is Raymond. I called Charles Gillette, and I was in elementary school. That's how I fell in love with his pitching. Because they was older than me. All right. That's why I played on the Little League and the Polo League. I called Charles Gillette when he was very hard to play because I was just a little boy. But he could bring it. I loved his pitch because he was striking them out.
Oh, hey.
But I had to say that because you got that pitch.
Yes. Thank you. Let's
Yeah, like I say, I heard stories.
okay. Let's go ahead and have Mr. DJ Sean be introduced. Great show tonight. Love it. You all telling your stories, reminiscing. And that's what it's all about. Like they say, love one another. And several, boys who got together. And like it was mentioned, still friends over 60 years later. That right there is a story to be told. That's why we have you on Speak Out Your Issues this evening, because that's, like you say, the bond that needs to be made. And to have that on our show tonight, to let the world hear about you all are still friends after growing up, learning to play baseball together, as well as you all was from different sides of town. But I would like for Mr. DJ Sean, who has a radio station in Charlotte, North Carolina, if you can say a little bit about yourself and how you know the Simpson Trojans. Mr. DJ Sean, are you still with us? And of course, I know it was all of us, having our rounds this evening. He and Robert Lynn may come back on before the show goes off. But if not, all of you all are welcome to always come back. Miss Sabrina, do you have any questions you'd like to ask before I go to the next set of questions? Because I really want to know about, how the Black business and the Black council members help the team, especially during the Jim Crow era. And you all got together, was that late 60s? Someone can let me know? Oh, it's the early 60s, not the late 60s.
Yeah. 63. 64.
Okay. And Miss Sabrina, do you have any questions, any thoughts of asking our Simpson Trojan baseball team? This is definitely a historic moment.
Yeah, I've been listening to the story. I was listening to the stories, and it's just so amazing because I have the book.
Right.
And I laughed a little, I chuckled, and hearing that ball keep moving every time he mentioned that home run, he keep moving a block. That was the longest traveling ball
Hey. I could. Hey. Yes, trust me.
Every time you say it, that ball keep moving an extra block.
See.
That ball is still up there.
See?
That ball is still come down yet.
You put the travel in travel ball, you hear me? But, I was reading, some books, and all of your life experiences, the part where you all talked about was the travesty or, that lead time when Mr. Levi, had to leave to join the military. And then it was Mr. Lawson swallowing his pride, right? And, after he left and trying to come back and thought he was going to be able to walk back on there, right? No, he had to swallow his pride and work his way back. And then you have Mr. Tootie, who do not like to be called that, right? I learned that. So just reading through and finding out a little bit about you all has been so rewarding. Let's not forget Mr. Raymond. He was the Atlanta Senator with a batting average of 420. So, it wasn't like he just started and stopped there coming on all of these adversities that you all had overcome. And, even walking through, you're talking about walking through a neighborhood, really walking from your neighborhood just to come and play ball, because it may not have been safe traveling to that place, but it was safe once you got to that place. And for you, it was worth it, right? And that was worth everything that you all went through just to be able to establish a friendship over 60 years was worth it. And after reading through this, the one name kept popping up, right? This one name just kept popping up. Well, it's two, but it was just based on that one name, and that was Coach Morrow. For having this vision and bringing you all together and using one common denominator, which was a bat and a ball, to create a team that came from, in that era, and dealing with all of these adversities.
Right.
My only question is, why are we not hearing about you all in our history books? Why are we not seeing you all as they talk about Black heritage? Why are we not hearing about you all as they're talking about, they're going on and on about Babe Ruth and all these other baseball players and, and all the things that individually they have overcome. But this is an entire team. And we're not hearing about you all in our history. And I just think that's a travesty, and now that you are old enough, so you're still here with us, we're literally talking to a foundation that is still standing, and we're not able to, sit down with our youth and, have our youth literally talk to you and tell you about the trials and the errors and the things that you had to go through in your life as you came through and as you matriculated from youth into teenage, into adulthood, and now having your own lives, and but you're still together. There's no friendship like that. I mean, how can you call a friendship like this that we can all go back and say, we're a group of young men, I'm still calling you all young, but a group of young men who are still together, excited, who are still together and just, can be called friends and can still get together and laugh and talk and say, remember when. I just, I enjoyed this book so much, even the stories and the things and the hardships you went through, just so you can play ball and have that relationship and that team camaraderie with each other. And I just want to say kudos to you and thank you for being on our show. It is literally an honor to listen to you all and to be able to speak with you all.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for
And that's,
having me.
yes,
Thank you.
that definitely,
I'd like to say something, Nadine.
sure. And who is it? Announce yourself if you don't mind.
This is this is Ellison Lawton,
Okay.
and I wanted to bring the Jim Crow era into light again, because that seems to be a forgotten era that has made its way back around into 2022, because all of the suppressive actions that are being taken
Yes.
in society against black people and other people of color is the same thing we experienced in its infancy, really. There were no outlets. There were no conveniences that we were exposed to. Restaurants we were shut out of. There was a man, Lester Maddox, had a restaurant downtown in Atlanta called the Piggery. And I played baseball across from his mouth. Yeah, well, let me finish, please. Let me finish. Go ahead. He had this restaurant called the Pig Rick that he vowed before he let a nigger eat in it, he would burn it down. And he actually issued baseball bats and axe handles to people that patronized his restaurant in order to beat people away if they had the nerve to show up. This particular man went on to become governor of Georgia twice.
Yes, I remember that.
And I look at what's going on now and equate the same tactics, the same actions that were taken against us during that time. That prohibited us from being the notarized team that we could have been, because we were that good. Man. We were really that good. But nobody wanted to take interest. We were frozen out of the ball fields. The equipment was hard to come by. But it's a testimony to perseverance and a desire to win is what kept us together.
Oh, yes, and especially...
We knew we were good, and we knew we were unbeatable if we just stayed together.
Right, especially in the early 60s. Oh, of course.
I look at it, and what I wanted to do was draw the comparison. Yeah, we're seeing it again, and for the younger people that don't recognize what Jim Crow looks like, well, just go back in your history a little bit, and you'll get some familiarity, because that's what's going on at this point in time. That's it for me right now.
Thank you, Raymond, for definitely pointing that out.
And I'll say one thing.
Can you state your name so we'll know who you are?
Raymond Kimber.
Okay. I'm sorry, that was Ellison. I'm sorry.
Okay. Now, okay. May I speak?
Sure. Yes.
They got that noise back. Okay, the noise. When he was talking about the Piggery time, I played baseball right across the street. What was getting me, I go home, I see on TV, he didn't want, I don't like the word black, he didn't want colored people in his restaurant, but he had colored people standing out there with axe out. I'm in elementary school, I'm looking at them, it was confusing me, all right? So I saw racism back then in my neighborhood when he used to come through that. But we really got me, I'm going to bring this up to date because I want to hold you up. I was talking about my baseball career recently. These young brothers ain't got nowhere to go. This brother comes and he says, sir, I heard you talking about your baseball career. I said, yeah, I'm going to play pro, but I got hurt. He started crying. He said, sir, I want to play baseball. These guys were built. They look like thoroughbred brothers that could play baseball. Hell, me crying. I'm standing there coming. All look at tears coming out. I said, brother, I said, what you going to have to do? I said, there's no more teams in the city. They had semi-pro teams, like 24, 25, called a
Georgia Amateur League. I said, you're going to have to go on the out. He said, sir, we can't get there. I said, that's what they did. They rezoned the area. So down by the time where we all wouldn't have nowhere to play. He said, sir, we want to play real. I said, brother, I can't help it. I'm going to tell you this. There's a show out right this book. I'm going to help guys like that. Because, see, little league got a little bit, but these guys can play semi-pro and polo league is not there. These guys don't have nowhere to go. When I played for the Senators, all the guys from Morehouse Club, everywhere in the pros and come back, they had somewhere to go. These young boys want somewhere to go.
Well, yes.
All the colored guys go to football and basketball. Now?
Hello?
I thought somebody was talking. Okay, I'm cut up, but I'm going to try to help young guys to get back in the sport, especially these guys from like 15 on up. Because I don't know what they rezoned during male camera time, and they got all the teams out the inner city.
And this
these
is, and this,
these guys want to play baseball.
right. Now, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Raymond. I appreciate you stating that. Because when you're saying that in the Atlanta metro area, I want to move to Mr. Levi right now. Can you go ahead and put yourself on mute, Raymond? Because I want to go ahead and I appreciate you mentioning all of that because I'm just visualizing, you know, like you saying that young man have a deep desire like it was when you all was coming up wanting to play baseball and really it's a lot of things to do in Atlanta, but like you say, when you just have limited income and limited space, you know, that was good. He came up to you. But let me go ahead and move to Mr. Levi quickly because I'd like for him to answer this question, a couple of questions. Mr. Levi? Okay, great. Yes, if you don't mind. So, Mr. Levi, I guess getting off mute. Mr. Levi, or any of you all, he may have gone.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I'm here.
okay. Just wanted to, yes, yes.
I had to know you.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're young. What I was going to ask.
Okay.
You see, you like to say something? Oh, okay. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. I think we want to put a couple things and answer your question too. Yes, I can hear you good.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Sure. Did you want to go ahead and say a couple of things?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
I'm going to touch on Raymond and I want to touch on Raymond and thousands of things about Raymond about getting kids check to play baseball. You should really know we already have an organization called the Eagle Program.
Right.
All what we're doing for kids to play baseball, put kids in summer camp. Get protein. We got protein from Atlanta gonna come here for the summer camp. We got so Real Foundation, your foundation, also helping us with all this coming, besides all the proteins. But that's what we do. We put kids get free registration where kids can play baseball in different leagues. And this all started by Tudor Water and Ellison Lawson. Because when we had that book out, some of the players were talking about what we're going to do with the money. And them two, James Warren and Ellison Lawson, they jumped a real firm. He said, no, ain't going to be no money for nobody. This money going to go toward the kids. And that's how that foundation got started. And on Ellison, I heard he also said that, yeah, we was a good team. He was just being modest. I'm just going to tell you like it is. We was not only the best black team in Atlanta, Georgia, or Georgia, period. We was really as the best black little league team in the whole United States during the time.
Wow.
So that's how good we were.
Yes. I definitely appreciate you.
You know, we was good.
Shedding light on that. And just to hear you all's stories, just very inspiration. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So what I was going to ask you,
I'm ready for your question.
Oh, no problem. I remember you all were saying that Jeff Hollinger of 11 Alive News wrote about you all. If you can shed a little light on about that. That Jeff Hollinger.
Yeah, Jeff Hollinger is a big forecaster in Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, he's been 11 Alive a long time. And Jeff is the first one really got this started. He went back in history and he brought this up. And he fixed all this listeners. He have a very large listen. And they read the story and they fell in love with the Silk Road Trogen. Not only, all of the likes, but the whites also too. They'll mention things like this all to be caught in school for what we did, coming back through that era right there.
Right.
And all the hardship that we face. But he's the real one that got it started, that made us say, hey, we need to write a book by this. This man here, he's putting us out. And we not, like Sabrina said, we sit back, we not saying anything.
Right.
That's what made us jump out. And start writing books, and moving and everything. And then it just took off from there. Because we got that recognition, it really took off.
And I wanted to ask.
So that's how the story got started.
Right. And
he's white. Jeff Hollinger is white.
Oh, of course. I remember growing up seeing him on the newscasting each and every day. But I would like to ask, who were some of the Black council members and Black business owners, it's like Pascal brothers, who fought for you all? Who were some of the persons who was officials that helped you all along the way? Because I remember in the last interview I had that people start giving you all the baseballs, the bats, the gloves and outfits, so you all can really show as a great team.
Okay, I can name a few, and fellows, help me out.
Yes.
He owned real estate company, and he also, back then it was called alderman instead of councilman.
Right.
We also had Pastor, that owned Pastor brother.
Right.
We also had John Della, the chief of like state senator.
Yes.
And we had plenty more people. Charles Elder, y'all would step in and name some of them.
Well, we have a number of businesses. Go on, and the church always supported us. I remember Larry Church was the First Corinthians.
First Corinthians.
That Larry Church?
Yes. Yep.
First Corinthians. Yep. Over there on Bankhead Highway, across from the first Kmart that ever was in the Black neighborhood over there on Bankhead.
Oh, okay.
That Kmart was there for many, many years.
I remember that.
And First Corinthians was right across from there.
Yes, the church. I remember because I used to stay on the west side.
I remember we had the shrimp.
You all had the what now?
The shrimp boat down on Simpson.
Okay.
The shrimp boat.
Yes.
It was a black-owned business, and I think didn't we have the Tasty Dog as well up there? Just below Chapel Road. I think we had the Tasty Dog. These were black-owned businesses. Yeah.
Yes.
Krispy Kreme. Well, we sold the Krispy Kreme donuts to get the money.
Right.
Yeah. That was one of the black-owned businesses that contributed.
Oh, that's excellent. That's seeing a team. I'm sorry.
And they didn't we begged and borrowed numerous people out of the neighborhood that would give a 50-cent here, $1 there,
Right.
Anybody we could stop and get some change off of, we got that.
Right.
So we did a lot of canvassing and a lot of asking for donations to get what we got.
That's what I'm saying. And you all work together and stuck together. I'm listening, Mr. Levi.
Yeah. And what made us very successful? It wasn't just us. It was our parents. It was our neighbors. It was like the young girls in the neighborhood at our age, and also he can tell you all about them. How the whole community, just came together and took care of us. They made sure we did it right. If my mother sent us to a road, you gonna hear about it.
Yes.
And your mother and your dad gonna what you tell when you get home. That's the way. Back in the day, that's
yes.
Growing up in the light neighborhood back then.
Yep.
But they took interest. They took interest with us. We played the ball and won the game, but they had our back 100%.
And
neighbors, the parents, the young girls our age, they did all of that. They did all of that. So a lot of our success, come from them because we could have made it without them.
Right. And I really appreciate it.
And they'll tell you about the girls what they.
Oh yes, the sisters and now wives, girlfriends back then became wives.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely feel a lot of love, like I stated earlier, in reference to you all binding together, working together, doing things together. That we definitely want to get that back today versus the opposite of what's going on. I know it's coming close to the end of the show, and I know you said it was okay to go over some, but I would like to start by our guest.
Yeah.
Just ask with our guest, asking Big Pond if he's still with us. One thing that you would leave with our audience. Again, we are on WLMR DB Radio. The show Speak Out Your Issues with Miss Show You Right, Nadine and Sabrina. And we've had a fantastic show this evening with the Simpson Trojans baseball team telling their story. And I'd like to just ask Mr. Big Pond one thing you'd like to leave with our audience. And you get ready, DJ Sean, if you're still with us.
Yeah, I'm still here. Hey, okay. One thing I'd like our audience to understand, especially coming from the kids coming from the Black community, baseball takes access. We gain access at the polls through our vote. We put the right people in the right positions in political office and we get our parks back. But we can't do it if we don't get our kids out into these parks and get them out to the polls.
Well, thank you so much for that. Really appreciate.
That's all I got to say right now.
Yes, I really appreciate you parting that because that's very important. I'm definitely all about that. Get out and vote. But I really appreciate that. Mr. DJ Sean, what about yourself? What would you leave with our audience, especially our young audience?
I got a message to him and Robin doing the show. Did get back to that show?
I kind of figured it. No problem. I kind of figured when she didn't. Yes,
Yeah.
I kind of figured that they were doing the show, and I said it earlier, which is cool. That's cool because we all need to network with our shows. And big shout out to Robin Lynn with radio station Vibes Live, and DJ Sean will definitely have you back with us out of North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina. And let's just go to our legendaries, legendeers, I would say. Start with you, Raymond. What would you leave with our audience?
Okay.
Yes.
What I would like for people of color to do is try to get our unity, all right? We grew up with unity. We looked out for each other. We're missing unity. I'm in the street. When I get a chance, I'm not working. I'm in the street. I talk to young guys. We talk about certain things about unity. When I was sister, were playing to make it in the system. It's not given, Georgia. This is Atlanta, Georgia. I just told the boy that today. You got to get to the grind. The name of my company is I'm not playing.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Do what you got to do. Stand up and be a fighter. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Charles.
Yeah.
What would you like to leave our listening audience, especially all of you all are, one of our Simpson Road Trojans?
In reality, it's not about where you come from, but it's about where you're going. I was a radical then. I've been fortunate enough to be a Vietnam vet with scholarship through Georgia State. If you ever read the book, you'll find out I would have been one of the first black ball players that they didn't have a sports team. But I chose the Marine Corps and went on to San Diego State and played baseball in Tucson, Arizona. But I'm a reverend now.
Okay.
Reverend, and that's what I preach to people is that there's no telling what you can do if you believe. You got to be. God will lead you and God will guide you.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. What about you, Mr. Allison? Leave words of, if you want to call wisdom, of just words of encouragement with our audience.
Yes, I think it boils down to determination, perseverance, and discipline. Those three were instrumental in me coming as far as I did in living. And they being the foundation were places I could always fall back to. A lot of people, when they fall, they don't have anywhere to fall to. Charles just mentioned God Almighty. That's the ultimate foundation, but in serving God, you have discipline, you have perseverance, you have those things that will create a stable base. And no matter how far you get, at some point you might slip. But as long as you got a strong foundation, you'll always be able to recover and continue to move forward.
Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And Mr. Levi, who's the owner of WLMR DB Radio, who we are on right now, what would you leave with our audience?
First thing is that right now I got tears in my eyes because every time I be talking to my brothers like we talking, it touched me. It touched me. It really touched me. And also, we out here for the kids. I want everybody to go to our foundation and legal praise our arts. And all the things that we do for kids like free summer camp, teaching how to play sports, or supporting a baseball little league team out in the Ella Park. We got all these people helping us. And also Sabrina, great foundation, and your great foundation also too.
Yes.
And I also like to give a shout out to Big Pond too. Big Pond, we've been friends a long time. To me, he is a Trojan. Anything that this Trojan needs, I can get on the phone. And he's up in Seattle, Washington. Anything I need, he gonna send money without no question. And because he's all about the same thing, it's about the kid.
Right.
With the Trojan.
Yes.
With you and Sabrina, with our great family also too.
Yes.
And I want to thank you, Sabrina, maybe a big pump, anything that you all do, that you do to help provide for these kids. Because all of us is on the same page together. And I can say one more thing, like Raymond said, like Major League Ball. But that Central Road Trojan team, it was 7 players on that team could have played Major League Ball. It's just how good they were. That 3-star in Southern, is our master Southern, I know could have made the Major League back in the days. We all had
Yes.
Willie Waters and we played semi-pro at 16 years old, correct, Judy?
Wow.
We were like 16, 17 years old. We were playing grown men.
Wow.
16, 17 years old, they were just playing with, just regular league. In the Retro League, which is a adult baseball league, with the Rockdale Rawhide. But that's all I got to say. I love my brothers. I love our friends, Pecan and the rest of them, and Nadine and Sabrina.
Well, thank you, Mr. Levi. We love you too. We really do, and really appreciate all you do. Yes, indeed. And Sabrina, you have anything to say before we exit stage left? And it's really been powerful.
We got two things. When you know your value,
I'm good.
When you know your value, no one can ever diminish your worth.
Thank you so much. And Mr. Willie James Waters, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I thought I was checking people off as I go because I knew we had a big crowd tonight. Would you like to leave with our audience? And thank you so much, Sabrina, for that. Really appreciate it.
Well, that's fine, Nadine. I wouldn't have been sad if you had missed me.
No.
I love my brother, and I miss them. I wish I could be there to be more of a hands-on help to them, but being 1,300 miles away, I just given my word to support. Jesus Christ, all he had was his word, and his word changed the world from the time that he came, his first coming here on earth. His word, the words that he gave from his Father, changed the world.
Yes.
And we just have a little part of it he has given us here to change the world. I want to say to all your listeners, if you don't have a copy of the book, get the book. It's going to be historic, and the things that are happening now, some of us may not be around to see the end of the matter, but most painters, artists, and people of note, they really aren't really known until after they pass away. And after 60 years, this time next year, some of us may not be here. But the ones that are here, I'm saying, carry on. Carry on. Because, as has been said, the story of the children should be told. And I wish I could be there to hug my brothers and say, well done.
Hey,
well done.
You're doing it right now, and we really appreciate all of that you just stated. It's been a great, 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 great pleasure of having all of you on, and we're going to do it again. So just look forward to it, and it may be in person. I enjoyed it before and definitely tonight. Just want to quickly, if you all don't mind, just give thanks to those who are not with us and who's gone home. Tonight, who's not with us is Coach Larry Morrow, which you all had mentioned him earlier, Elmo Benton, Ron Malcolm, and Roland Cleveland, Ron Clemens, and just to name those that's gone on with the Lord that I know of from the last time is Larry Malcolm, Stanley Cody, Jim Phillips, Melvin Slack, Gary Thrasher, Johnny Moore, Coach K, C. Maddox, and Gregory Ragsdale. Definitely give homage to them and in remembrance. With that, you all, it has been a great show with Speak Out Your Issues with Michelle, you right, Nadine and Sabrina. Don't forget, we air this Sunday on WLMR DB Radio. And of course, you can listen to it from the radio station. WLMRradio.com, as well as tune in a lot of other stations, iHeart. It's so many. I can't name them right now because we're ending, but you know what? It's the beginning as well because I look forward to seeing everyone again. Thank you all, audience, for listening to us, and you all take care. Have a great evening.
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station. WLMR DB Radio.